So, so yesterday, having discussed about different questions by Brahma, especially about the common opinion raising the common opinion, Narada Muni requests Brahma to speak about the process of creation, the way the universe is manifested and how it is maintained, how it is annihilated, etc. For which Brahma says that it is only being illusioned by Maya's influence. People speak that I am the Jagat Guru, I am the Lord of the creation, I am everything, I am the supreme authority of the entire universe. But actually, I simply recreate what was already created by the Supreme Personality of God. The original creator is the only creator. So then the question would be there, why people do think like that? Because they are under the control of Maya. Because Maya stands behind the Supreme Lord facing out other side. People who take shelter of Maya, they always speak like that. Why people under the shelter of Maya will speak like that always? The reason is given in 17 to 20. Tasyapi dashturisasya kutasya kilatmana srijati srijami shushtoham ikshaivabi chodita. I am created by Supreme Lord. Not only the living entities, even I am also created by the Supreme Lord. Inspired by the Lord's glance, I create what was already created by the Lord. Because he is the witness. He will supervise all my activities. I cannot do anything on my own. I am not a so-called creator. Everything is run by the Supreme Lord under his supervision only. Satkam rajas tamayati nirgunasya gunatraya sthiti sarga nirodeshu gurihita maya vibho. Lord has unlimited energies, but for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, he accepts Mahamaya, consisting of 3 gunas. So with the help of these 3 gunas, the Supreme Lord creates this material world. Karya karana kartrutve dravya jnana kriyatmaka kriyashriya badnanti nityada muktim mayinam purusham guna. Mayinam purusham guna. Okay, that means the gunas, okay, the gunas consisting of 3 modes, sattva, rajas, tama, consisting of 3 energies, dravya shakti, jnana shakti, and kriya shakti, manifesting in the form of karya, the gross body made up of 5 gross elements, so subtle body made up of the senses, and the devatas who supervise all the activities will bind the jiva in this material world. We will discuss about them in the future. They will come elaborately. Dravya means Dravya Shakti is Karya. Dravya Shakti is nothing but the energy which manifests in the form of 5 gross elements. Jnana Shakti manifests in the form of Devatas. Kriya Shakti manifests in the form of senses. Kriya means Karya Karne ka, that is senses. So it's like that. We will discuss them all. So basically, the gunas bind the jiva by so many identities. By giving us so many identities with respect to the body, the gunas bind us. Sayesha Bhagavan Lingay Tribir Eite Radokshaja Swalakshita Gunair Brahman Sarvesham Mama Cheshvara. The Lord who is Brahman, who is the controller of me and all the beings, is not known because of the coverings of the 3 gunas in the jiva. So you may think we are also entities, Lord also entity, but we are bound by Maya. Lord is situated beyond Maya, beyond the 3 modes. So we will not know the Supreme Lord as he is. His true entity will not be revealed to the living entities who are under the control of 3 modes of material nature. So out of illusion, we may think Lord to be one among us, but in reality, Lord is not one among us. He is beyond the influence of 3 modes, and we are under the influence of 3 modes. We and the Lord are entirely different because we are covered by the influence of 3 modes. Lord is beyond. Thus, Brahma is Jiva Tattva and Lord Vishnu is, and the Lord is Vishnu Tattva. There is a lot of difference between both of them. Then what to speak of other living entities? This is what Brahma established in the previous section. Now, starting from 21 all the way up to 35, Brahma will speak about the process of creation.
So this was
Loud.
Till this time, these are not the answers for the questions of Naradji. This was just to establish that he is not the Supreme.
These are all questions of answers to another question. Narada asked 10 questions, na? 6 questions asked in one verse, and the remaining all verses asked 4 questions. I see that you are the creator. I see that you are like Oronabi, creating everything with your own energies. Glorification, that is the conviction of the people in general. That is a false conviction. Lord Brahma alleviating that false conviction. And he also had a doubt that, but still you sometimes performing some austerities. What is that reason? Is there someone superior to you? That is established here. Yes, the doubt is clarified now. Yes, someone is superior to me. Who is that superior person? He is called Lord Vishnu. Why is superior? Because he himself creates. Why is not like you? Because he is not like me. He is not like you. He is not like anyone else. Because he is beyond 3 modes. We are under 3 modes. But whom the 3 modes belongs to? They belongs to him only. They belongs to his Shakti, known as Maya Shakti. It's like that. So other 4 questions are answered in the previous section. Now, even in between yes parasvam, yet adhishtanam also answered. Na? In one verse, yet parasvam, yet adhishtanam answered. In 2 verses, yet para also answered. So etc. In one verse, yetcha is also answered. Dravyan karvacha kalacha bhavo jiva yocha. So like that. Many of them answered. So now, from the current verse onwards, Yatha Srishtam will be answered. About the creation, the process of creation will be answered now onwards. So this is one of the technical section. Many times people find it difficult to understand, but this is elaborately presented in the book. In which book? Bhagavata Vichar. So one full chapter is dedicated to explain this Yatha system only. Kalam karma sabhavam cha mayesho mayaya swaya atman yadruchaya praptam vibhubhushur upadade.
The Lord of Maya, desiring to become many, by his own will, accepts time which was merged in himself, as well as karma and svabhava, which were merged in the jiva through the agency of Maya.
Kalam karma subhavam cha mayesho mayaya swaya. Mayesho, the Lord of Maya. Atman yadrichaya praptam vibhushur ubadade. So he says that in order to create, for the purpose of creation, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna expands himself as Karnadaksha Vishnu for the purpose of creation, for the purpose of material creation. Okay, that Purusha Avatara, known as Karnadaksha Vishnu, for the purpose of creation, accepts Maya. It is through the agency of Maya only Mahavishnu creates this material world. Okay. What was the verse which talks about the creation of the universes from Brahma Samhita? Remember?
Creation of the
universes, creation of unlimited Brahmandas. Brahma Samhita verse, every Sunday recites devotees in the temple hall. Yashvaisa Kala Matavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadanda Nata Vishnur Mahan Sayesya Kala Vishesho Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yashvaisa Nishvasita Kala Matavalambya. At a particular point of time, when Mahavishnu breathes out, when he breathes out, as an effect of that breathing, unlimited universal will manifest on the skin pores of Mahavishnu. That is what is mentioned in one verse in Brahma Samhita. But the same thing is explained in 3-4 chapters in Bhagavatam. The meaning of that one verse. Who is that Mahavishnu? Vishnur Mahan. Mahavishnu is Yasya Kala Vishesho, one of the expansion of Govinda. So, for the purpose of creation, Mahavishnu accepting Maya, consisting of 3 modes. Later in the 3rd canto, same 5th chapter, it explains that Maya was sleeping. When the previous creation annihilated, Maya also entered into the body of Karnadaksha Vishnu. When again Mahavishnu wanted to create, immediately Maya appears from the Mahavishnu's body. That appearance is called as Eshvaisa Nishvasita Kala Matavalamba Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadanda. All the universes are coming out of the skin pores, means it actually universe does not come. That Maya comes out of the skin pores of Mahavishnu. Maya, who entered after the previous annihilation to the body of Karnadaksha Vishnu, now comes out of the body of skin pores of Mahavishnu. Okay, and then Mahavishnu, by just by glancing, impregnates Maya Devi. What were the verse mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, 3 and 4, about Lord impregnating Maya Devi? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text number 3 and 4. Mamayonir Mahat Brahma Tasmin Garbam Dadameham Sarvada Mamayonir Mahat Brahma Tasmin Garbam Dadameham Sambhava Sarvabhuteshu Tato Yanti. कोई बात नहीं. So it's like that Mahat Brahma, which is Maya, is the place of impregnation, into which I impregnate all the living entities. Tasmin Garbam stands for Hiranyagarbha. All the living entities are impregnated into the womb of Prakriti or Pradhan. I'll show images little later. So the Lord of Maya, desiring to become many, by his own will accepts time, which was merged in himself, as well as karma and swabhava, which were merged in the jiva through the agency of Maya. It has been stated that the Lord produces the universes by means of his energy Maya. Now the process of producing the universes has been given. The Lord, desiring to become many, by his own will accepts for the purpose of creation time, which was merged in himself. Atman Praptam Kalam. Actually, time is Lord's own potency. And karma, which is the fate of the jivas, and swabhava, which is the natural personality of the jiva. Swabhava, should we discuss now? Inclination or personality, whatever, which were merged in the jiva. This does not take place spontaneously, but by Maya. The Lord glances over Prakriti. The one Lord, desiring to many, accepts Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti, made up of karma and swabhava, to the agency of Maya, and glances upon Maya.
Desiring to be many.
That is a desire to create. It is a service. It is early morning. You get up at 4 o'clock, get ready by 4:30, then you go and clean the temple hall. Why do you clean the temple hall every day at 4:30? That is your seva. That is your seva. That is the effect. Devotees will come to take that effect. That is the seva allotted to you. The seva allotted to Mahavishnu is to create. Only you do it at 4:30 only. You don't do before 4:30 or you don't do after 4:30. 1 or 2 minutes maybe here and there, but generally around 4:30 you start that seva. Same way, when the time to create comes, Mahavishnu starts creating. When he desires to create, Maya Shakti, which entered into the body of Karnadaksha in the previous creation, at the end of the previous annihilation, comes out in the form of Prakriti, which is called as Dravya or Pradhana. Then Mahavishnu at a distance glances upon that Prakriti. That glance carries Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. Kala Shakti is Lord's own potency. Jiva Shakti is all the different variety of jivas who are going to take birth or appear in this universe and perform various activities. And jiva goes along with their karma and swabhava. Wherever jiva goes, they have their karma and swabhava as long as they are in the material world. Okay, but Bhagavatam says indirectly, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, 3 are going. With jiva is the enjoyer, na? These 3 are the instigating factors. Kala, Karma and Swabhava. These 3 are impregnated into the womb of Prakriti by the glance of Mahavishnu. Kalat guna vetikara parinama swabhavata karmano janma mahata purusha dishtitad abod.
Gunas are agitated from a state of equilibrium by time.
Little louder.
They are transformed into another form by Swabhava. The Mahat Tattva appears by the karma of the Jivas. All this is under the direction of the Lord.
One simple example for us to relate. After the conception, after the impregnation, okay, eventually over the period of 9 months, the child grows in the womb of the mother. Okay, here mother is Prakriti, father is the Mahavishnu. So impregnating Prakriti with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. So Kala Shakti, Jiva Shakti along with Karma and Swabhava, all the four enter into the Dravya. So then the Dravya goes through transformation. What is Dravya? Dravya is nothing but the three gunas, the three modes of material nature in the sleeping state, in the equilibrium state. But when Kala, Karma, Swabhava entered into the equilibrium state of Dravya, they start agitated, they start activated. So how they become activated? The three gunas are transformed into another state by the interaction of, they are agitated by time and they transform into another form by Swabhava. And by the influence of karma, there appears Mahatattva. They will give birth to Mahatattva. So you take a seed, you sow the seed. In 1 or 2 days, there is some reaction happens. The seed is exposed to sunlight, air, and the moisture. It is covered by the dust. In 1 or 2 days, there is a small sprout and sapling, etc. That sprout is called Mahatattva. The first element which will be born from Prakriti is Mahatattva. Flowchart hai, but after discussion theory, I will show the flowchart. It comes at the end. When 30, at verse number 30, the flowchart will come. Oh, everything is there in the flowchart. That is like summary of everything that we discussed. So, the functions of time and other factors are discussed. Time is the agitator of the gunas. This means giving up equilibrium. Parinama means attaining another form. Mahata is Mahatattva. So, in that way. Kala agitates the gunas of Pradhana. See, what came out of the skin pores of Mahavishnu is called Pradhana. Then Mahavishnu, by glancing, impregnated the Pradhana with Kala Shakti, Karma and Swabhava. Kala, Karma, Swabhava.
So Pradhana and Maya is actually same.
They are different names of Pradhana. Dravya, Pradhana, Maya, they are all same name, same only. But they are called with different names.
Pradhana is an equilibrium state.
Pradhana is consisting of three modes which are in equilibrium state. The three modes are in sleeping state. Abhi tak Maya inside the body is sleeping, na? She just came out of the skin pores of the Mahavishnu. But still a kind of sleeping state only. Then by glancing, Mahavishnu impregnates in order to activate Pradhana. So when he impregnates, the Kala, Karma, Swabhava and Jiva entered into the Pradhana. Then they starts interacting with the three modes which are in sleeping state. So first mode of goodness becomes activated. Then there appears Mahatattva. When mode of goodness becomes activated, Mahatattva comes. Then eventually mode of passion becomes activated. Then there comes Sutratattva. Then the mode of ignorance also becomes activated. Mode of passion becomes activated. Then there comes Sutratattva. Then mode of ignorance becomes activated. Then there comes Ahankara. Like that, one after the other, with the activation of the each mode, one element is born. Mahatattva, Sutratattva, and Ahankara. First, because since Lord impregnated Pradhana with Kala, Karma, Swabhava, all these three interact with three modes. By the combined interaction of all the four, Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, the mode of goodness becomes activated. Then there appears Mahatattva. That is mentioned in this verse. Mahatastu vikurvanat raja sattvopa tama pradhanastu abhavad dravya jnana kriyatmaka.
From the transformation called Mahatattva, predominated by Rajas and Sattva, a substance predominated by Tamas, Ahankara arose. composed of Adhibhuta, Adhyatma, and Adhidaya.
So with the interaction of Kala, Karma, Subhava, the three modes are agitated. They are slowly transforming or they are slowly activated. When the mode of goodness is active, Mahatattva is formed. When the mode of passion is active, Sutra is formed. But Sutra is not mentioned many places in the Bhagavatam directly. Third canto it talks about Sutra. Second canto does not talk. It's I'll discuss later on. I'll tell you. Sutra Tattva is nothing but the action potency. How to explain to you? The breathing. The potency of breathing is directly connected to Sutra Tattva. And Mahatattva is the Chetana within us. We have Chetana, we have consciousness. That is the component of Mahatattva. We are continuously breathing. That is the component of Sutra Tattva. And we identify ourselves as something. What is your name? Before that, why that name came to you? Not someone. Your parents are given you. Okay? Now philosophical mat ban jao, come to reality.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा आप किस डायरेक्शन से पूछ रहे हो
कुछ भी डायरेक्शन हो, डायरेक्शन तो वही है. This body has got some name which was given by the parents. This body was also given by the parents only. Yes, that identity is from Ahankara. You have been sent to school. While you are in the school, you are called as a student. Then you have been sent to college. Then you are called as a college student. Then you have been sent to university. Then you are called as a university graduate. Then you are working in a company. Then you are called as a employer. But unfortunately, you have not been married. If you are married, you will be called as a husband. Eventually, when you get children, fortunately or unfortunately, you are not married. If you are married, you are called as husband. Then, if children are there, you will be called as father. Then grandchildren are there, you will be called as, like the identity will change. Okay? That is all due to Ahankara. So, from the transformation called Mahatattva predominated by Rajas and Sattva, a substance predominated. Okay. So, Sutra Tattva is not clearly discussed in the second canto. So that's why Mahatattva is said to be having both mode of goodness and passion. Sutra Tattva is considered to be a twin component of Mahatattva. It is which is the effect of passion, but it is not said directly in the second canto. It will mention third canto. There it goes into more detail. So basically, mode of goodness gives you Mahatattva, mode of passion gives you Sutra Tattva, which is like a subcomponent of Mahatattva, which is not considered here. That's why it is said that Mahatattva is consisting of mode of goodness and mode of passion. And eventually, in mode of goodness, mode of ignorance also becomes activated. There appears Ahankara. Okay. So by the time Ahankara appeared, all the three modes are active. Tagafar, meu, like that.
So in sequence it gets activated.
Yes, I see. First mode of goodness gets activated, then mode of passion gets activated, then mode of ignorance gets activated. In sequence only it happens.
So a person if a person is considered to be liberated, he needs to actually be liberated from the influences of the Ahankara only, or the Sutra Tattva and Mahat Tattva also.
Good question. Ask this question once again when you show the flow chart. Mahatattva is all the three gunas, but there is a predominance of Rajas and Sattva. Actually, Mahatattva is the predominance of Sattva. Sutra Tattva is the predominance of Rajas because of Kriya and Jnana Shaktis. Mahatattva is consisting of Jnana Shakti. Sutra Tattva consisting of Kriya Shakti. Okay?
तो महातत्व में प्रीडोमिनेंस रजस और सत्व का ही होता है, तमस का नहीं होता.
Predominance मतलब वो तमस भी रहता है, but this is the major quantity. Mahatattva 90% of mode of goodness, 5% passion, 5% ignorance.
Oh, really?
Sutta Tattva 90% passion, 5% goodness, 5% passion. And Ahankara 90% good ignorance, 5% goodness, 5% passion. All the three will be there. Predominance means maximum. So in that way. And goodness is made up of Jnana Shakti. Passion is made up of Kriya Shakti. Ignorance is made up of Dravya Shakti. They are the three energies of the Supreme Lord. There is one verse which Srila Prabhupada quotes all over Bhagavad Gita from Shvetavatar Upanishad. I will start, you complete. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. इसका आंसर सुना, इसका आंसर छोड़ दिया.
That whatever you decided, that only I found कि I have heard. Nothing.
I will read full. Then you will say I heard all these things also. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Natas samascha abhyadikambu drishyate. Parasya shakti vividaiva suyate. Jnana bala swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natas samascha abhyadikambu drishyate. Swabhaviki parasya shakti vividaiva suyate. The Supreme Lord has unlimited energies. Parasya shakti para asya shaktir vividaiva suyate. Asya of that Lord para shakti, the superior energies. He has many energies. How many? Vividaiva suyate. There are unlimited energies are there. Among them, three are important. What are the three? Jnana Shakti, Bala Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Because by employing these three Shaktis, the Supreme Lord creates, maintains, and annihilates the entire material universes. In the spiritual world, Lord has unlimited energies, unlimited potencies. But for the material world, Lord uses three potencies. Jnana Shakti, that is goodness. Kriya Shakti, that is passion. And Bala Shakti, that is ignorance. Simple. इतना याद रखो, काफी जीवन भला हो जाएगा.
Mahattatva, Jnana Shakti comes, which is in Sattva.
Mahatattva consisting of Jnana Shakti. Sutta Tattva consists of, or Mahatattva is the predominance of mode of goodness, which consists of Jnana Shakti. Sutta Tattva is the predominance of passion, which consists of Kriya Shakti. Ahankara is the predominance of ignorance, which consists of Dravya Shakti. From this state of transformation, namely Mahatattva, which has a predominance of Rajas and Sattva, and which is produced by time, by the interaction of time, in due course of time, having time entered into the Pradhana, Swabhava and Karma, a substance predominant tamas arises. Then Ahankara appears. First, by the activation of mode of goodness, there appeared Mahatattva, consisting of Jnana Shakti. Then in due course of time, by the activation of mode of ignorance, the mode of passion, there appeared Sutta Tattva, consisting of Kriya Shakti. Then in due course of time, by the activation of mode of ignorance, there appeared Ahankara, consisting of Dravya Shakti or Bala Shakti. In the Upanishad, it is called Dravya Shakti, Bala Shakti. Here it is called Dravya Shakti. Same thing. How Dravya and Bala is connected to each other? Dravya means basically the five Pancha Mahabhutas: earth, water, fire, and ether. A person who is strong and stout obviously will have Bala. A person who is weak will have less Bala. So Bala is connected to Dravya. Dravya is Pancha Mahabhutas.
So Dravya Shakti जो है, it is inactive, inert material.
शक्ति मतलब एक्टिव है ना, इनएक्टिव कैसे होगा?
नहीं, अभी material
भगवत गीता बहुत सुना लगता है, सब इनएक्टिव इनएक्टिव याद रहते हैं, ज्यादा सुनेगा तो प्रॉब्लम. माया इज इनएक्टिव का ऐसे कितने बार सुना होगा? 1000 बार सुना होगा ना भगवत गीता क्लास में. माया इज इनएक्टिव, माया इज इनर्ट, आत्मा is conscious, active. No. जैसे द्रव्य शक्ति, शक्ति मतलब एक्टिव होना है ना, एक्टिव नहीं तो क्या होगा, कुछ होता नहीं. We are talking about the modes becoming active, modes becoming agitated.
They are inert in the sense they don't have the independence. In that way, they are inert. Now here,
Okay, now you
because
tell me. I'll tell you one shloka. What do you mean by that? Prakrite kriyamanaani gunai karmani sarvasha. Prakrite kriyamanaani karmani sarvasha. मतलब क्या?
All these are done by the
What are done by three modes? What are done by three modes?
all the actions performed by the person.
Done by?
Three modes of the material.
Okay. If somebody is doing some activity means what? That person is inert or active?
The person is active.
Three modes are active, na? That's what we are discussing here. The word ya can be added to connect this verse with sa in the next verse. Dravya refers to Adibhutam, Jnanam, Adi. Sorry. Dravya refers to Adibhutam. Adibhutam means Pancha Mahabhutas. Jnana refers to Adi Daivam. Adi Daivam refers to the Devatas who will supervise the activities of all our activities. Kriya refers to Adhyatmam. Adhyatman stands for the senses that we possess. 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas. These are three causes of illusion for the living entities. When we come into the material world, we will be given a body made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. There is a grass body made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. We will be given a subtle body made up of 14 senses. What are the 14 senses? We consist of 14 senses. What are the 14 senses?
subtle body.
Subtle body is made up of 14 senses. What are the 14 senses?
For example, for tongue, it is jihva.
वो छोड़ दो, नाम नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. 5 ज्ञानेंद्रियास, 5 कर्मेंद्रियास, 4 अंतःकरणास, मन बुद्धि अहंकार चेतना. So our body is made up of grass body and subtle body. Grass body is made up of earth, water, fire, ether, 5 grass elements. Subtle body is made up of 14 senses. Okay? Bhagavad Gita में क्या पढ़ा? Subtle body is made up of Bhagavatam में 14 senses. 3 becomes 14.
It means the sense organ and the ability to actually sense. Like yesterday you were saying.
Yeah.
Eye
This
and the
eyeball, which is made up of flesh. Flesh is made up of earth, water, fire, and ether. But the ability to see some object, the function of the eyeball is subtle sense organ. That is Adhyatma. Okay. This grass organ can be replaced. Mera eye can be transported to your. We both can exchange our eyes, but not the ability to see. The eyeball can be, the fleshy eye can be exchanged. Okay, that is a part of grass body. Subtle body cannot be exchanged. So that is understanding. This Mahatattva transforms into Ahankara. So Ahankara iti prokto vikurvan samabhutrutya vaikarikas tejasascha tamataschedi yadbida dravya shakti kriya shaktir jnana shaktir iti prabho.
That ahankara transforms into 3 types derived from sattva, rajas and tamas, called Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Dravya Shakti.
First, out of the 3 sleeping modes, mode of goodness was activated, by which what was produced?
Jnana Shakti.
Mahatattva consisting of Jnana Shakti. Then mode of passion becomes activated. Then what was produced?
Sutra
Tattva consisting of Kriya Shakti. Then the mode of ignorance becomes activated.
Ahankara consisting of Dravya Shakti.
Now by the time Ahankara is produced, all the 3 modes are active. Okay? So Ahankara will have 3 subcomponents. They are called as Satvika Ahankara, Rajasika Ahankara, Tamasika Ahankara. Okay? By the time Ahankara was born, the 3 modes are activated. Now Ahankara itself is subgrouped into 3 parts. One part is called Satvika Ahankara. consisting of Jnana Shakti. The Satvikana Jnana Shakti will be seen in that. Second part is called Rajasic Ahankara, from which consists of Kriya Shakti. And third part is called Tamasic Ahankara, consisting of Dravya Shakti. It is like that. It is Ahankara only, but which will be subdivided into 3 divisions. One is goodness, Ahankara in the mode of goodness, Ahankara in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. The 3 divisions are described that derived from Sattva-guna, from Rajoguna, and from Tamaguna. Vaikarika means Sattva-guna, Taijasa means Rajoguna, Tamasa means Tamaguna. In the Bhagavatam, everywhere these are used. Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa. Whenever Vaikarika comes, that means you should understand that it is mode of goodness. Taijasa means mode of passion. Tamasa means mode of ignorance. This is a standpoint. They don't use gunas, Bhagavatam. They only say Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa. So that is like, remember. The Dravya Shakti has the capacity to produce the 5 gross elements, starting with ether. From Dravya Shakti, which is Tamasika Ahankar, there appears the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. The Kriya Shakti has the capacity to produce the senses. From Kriya Shakti, there appears 10 senses: 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas, along with intelligence and prana. From the Kriya Shakti comes 10 senses plus intelligence plus prana. Total 12 elements are produced. The Jnana Shakti has the capacity to produce the sense devatas. From Satvika Ahankara, there comes the devatas who will supervise the activities of the 10 senses, as well the mind and its duty. From Satvika Ahankara, which has Jnana Shakti, there comes mind and the devatas who will supervise the activities of all the senses. The devata for the Jnanendriyas, the devata for the Karmendriyas, the devata for the intelligence, the devata for the prana, the devata for the mind also. All the devatas will also appear from Jnana Shakti.
From Jnana Shakti,
Mind and the devatas for the senses. From Kriya Shakti, the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, intelligence and prana. From Dravya Shakti, the Pancha Mahabhutas are produced.
Kriya Shakti,
Senses.
senses,
And mind, senses and intelligence and prana.
Then Guruji, अभी जो ज्ञान शक्ति में बोला
Prabhuji, don't see that. You close that book.
है, इसमें यहाँ पर वही दिया है.
Close that book. So terminology sometimes used different.
No, same terminology. So ये what ten says देवतास जो है, पहले देवतास जो ज्ञान शक्ति से पहले देवता है, फिर 10 senses जो है, पहले देवता है उसके बाद senses है.
That is the problem, na? Just because it is put in this side, that doesn't mean that it came first. Now I'll tell you. I mean, later on I'll show that image. There is a tree growing. From the tree, there is a trunk. From the trunk, multiple branches come. Okay? From each branch, there are multiple twigs, leaves, and flowers. So from which branch the twigs come first? From which branch the twigs come first?
last.
जो
Which branch twigs come first?
There is a trunk. From the trunk, there are multiple branches. From each branch, there are so many twigs. From the twigs, there are leaves. And then there are flowers and fruits. From which branch the twigs come first among the many branches?
या फिर जो पहले
बचपन में कभी पेड़ पौधा हो तो देखा नहीं?
जो पहले आया होगा उसमें से आएगा.
सब branches will give twigs simultaneously. कुछ पहले कुछ बाद में नहीं आते, सब जगह पर एक ही बार आते हैं. Sorry to ask this. You are from Tirupati.
Actually, what you said is correct.
You are from Tirupati.
बचपन से actually मैंने देखा नहीं.
You are from?
Not good.
इसलिए प्रॉब्लम है. सिटी के
ऐसा ऑब्जर्व नहीं किया
कान-
कभी।
वही है ना, ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए भी आपको मौका नहीं मिलता। गांव में रहेगा तो घूमते रहते हैं, पता चलता रहते हैं, कुछ खेती में काम करते हैं तो पता चलता है। सब लोग क्या बोलते हैं,
आलसी।
आलसी नहीं, सब born with golden spoon in the mouth. It's like that. Everything is already naturally available for you. You don't have to look into them. That is the problem. That's why so many times what is said in the Bhagavatam, to appreciate, we need to have the knowledge of the nature. Because all the analogies are directly connected to the material nature. So many times we have that trouble. That's why I'm telling you to close the book. Because our general understanding is that if it is there in the, if it is in the top, it is first. If it is there in the left side, it is first. They're not like that. All come simultaneously. Sorry.
ऐसा मेरा बुक पे नहीं, मुझे ऐसा डाउट।
बीड बैग नीचे गिरेगा, बीड बैग नीचे गिरेगा। वो डाउट आया कि क्योंकि वो आप वो देख रहे थे, इसलिए। See, this is also another problem. If everything is spoon fed, we don't think too much. Because you are seeing the flow chart, you can't imagine, you can't think only. That's why I not put the flow chart in the beginning. The imagination power will be taken away if everything is given flow charts. People ask nowadays, we want everything in bullet points, we want everything in flow charts, we want everything in tables. If everything is spoon fed, that person will never understand only. Understanding will be there. Our understanding will continue for a long time when you analyze. When you make an endeavor to understand it. Somebody made an endeavor and is giving you spoon-fed data in the form of flowchart, in the form of picture. You see, and everything makes clear. You don't make any endeavors, it will not stay with you only. You see, it looks very fabulous, very understood, very nice. And you close the page, done. जितना देर आप देखेंगे उतना देर आपको समझ में आएगा, उतना देर आपके सामने रहेगा. When you open the next page, it is gone. But if you analyze to understand it, if you make your own flowchart, will it be with you for long or not? So that's how you study. There will be many people who will help us by giving notes, guides, etc. But if we really want to understand, we need to work hard. There is no way out for that. There is no alternative for that. I'm not saying that we should not use them. We can use them to compare our understanding. But they should not be like a substitute for our endeavor. One may ask a question that I don't have time to endeavor. But unfortunately, if you don't have time to endeavor, our understanding will also does not last long. We may get the understanding, but it will also go away. Just like it came and it will go away like that only. If at all you want to understand, you need to endeavor. There is one comment was given by one person. Actually, it's true. It is not that. In the past, only books are available. The media was not so much popular. In beginning days, only what was there? Radio was there. Not TV was not there. When TV came, later on gadgets came. Now everything is available in the form of attractiveness. So much attractiveness is there and so much is there like that. So we see those attractive pictures. Many people are attracted to these things. Because of that, what happens now? Our analytical abilities reduce. They'll be lost. They'll be forgotten. So that is one of the disadvantages of the modern gadgets and attractive looking, all these so many things. In the past, people would be happy by reading only. By reading Mahabharata, they would imagine, okay, Pandavas had 7 Akshoni Sena, Kauravas had this many Sena, and today this day, Pandavas came in the form of Garuda and Kauravas came in the form of Naga. So they would imagine Garuda means how it is like that, Naga means how it is like that. In that Garuda shape, Arjuna was at the big position, Bhima on the right wing, Nakula and Sahadeva on the left wing, Yudhishthira Mara in the abdomen portion, and behind in the tail portion, Garuda there at the back side, there were Drishtamna and Satyaki. well protecting on all sides, and they are attacking the Kauravas. You imagine how it look like. I have shown to you directly in the picture how it will be. You will lose that imagine, the opposite to imagine how it is. You see, it made sense. Okay, here it is telling it is like this. बीच में जो endeavor आप करने वाला ना, जो imagine करने के लिए, that opportunity is taken away from you because it's attractive modern media. So we can't imagine anything. So actual happiness is in that imagination. The actual happiness which our ancestors used to get is in that imagination. The happiness does not come by reading. The happiness comes when you visualize the scene by reading. What the words are telling, when you convert that into a scene, that gives you happiness. If somebody else is converting the words into scene, you are seeing the scene. You are seeing the scene, the eyes are enjoying. But the mind is, it has become activeless. Inactive, it has no action. So that is the problem with our modern technology. We may think that everything has become very easy. Nowadays, we have calculator in the mobile. For any multiplication, we simply calculate, enter the calculation, open the calculator and enter the numbers and multiply. We don't make an endeavor to multiply with our mind. What is the value of level 11? What is the value of 20? 22 times 22. 22 times 22. That's why we don't know how to calculate also, how to multiply also. If somebody says big numbers, we open and put in the calculator. We have lost that analytical ability. For us, everything is available here. How many mobile numbers do we never remember? Hardly one number. 2, 3, at least you. I only remember one number.
My number, my father's number, my mother's.
Good. At least you have 3 numbers. I only remember my number. Somebody ask what is the need? Mobile में है ना, वो नाम खोलेगा तो हो जाएगा. कितना number याद रखेंगे? That is the problem with us. This modern gadgets took away the opulence that we have. The main opulence of the human being is ability to analyze. It has been taken away by the modern gadgets. We have become subservient of the modern gadgets. Laptop. Even I am showing slides. It is to make people attentive or attractive. Even this is also not required. You should not record actually. For reading Shastra, we should not have like this and like that notes and all these things should not be using. If we really want to study Shastra and understand Shastra, we should keep the book in front of us and study. And all our understanding through our analytical abilities. Then that understanding will stay with us for the entire life. How could the previous yuga, 3 yugas, people would remember things for the entire lifespan? Because they are studied like that. Even they were not having the book also. Now kindly imagine when there is no book. The Guru is saying something. Annat bhavanti bhutani parajanyat anna sambhava. Yajnat bhavanti parajanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. Understand that there is no opportunity, I will never hear it again. What kind of eagerness the disciple will have? This is the only way in my life I am going to hear this. So I should hear it with rapt attention. Just by hearing once, I should memorize it. That's how they could memorize everything they hear. Because they hear it with that rapt attention. And while hearing, they will analyze everything. They will remember it according to their analysis. That's why they are called Sudharas. They would remember it for the entire lifespan. For us, books are there in the beginning. So books are there. रहेगा इधर है ना, बाद में पढ़ेंगे. आप बोलो, हम सुनेंगे. Now books के साथ we have nice PPTs. उसके साथ nice guides. All these things are there. So we don't remember. We don't make an endeavor to remember only. Our attention has been taken away by so many other things. This is the problem with the modern technology. I make all these slides just to keep the students attentive in the class. Otherwise, they may get distracted. If I only speak, they only hear now. without any intermediate via medium, because our attention span is less, our interest to understand Shastra is also less many times. Our analytical abilities are already forgotten. So for us to focus on Shastra, very difficult in the modern times. That's why we need this kind of slide, that kind of guides and all to make us understand. But if at all we want to keep this understanding for a long time, our dependency on these modern articles in the form of slides, in the form of guides, in the form of flowcharts should be reduced as much as possible. I'm not saying that this is not required, but in order to improve our analytical abilities, we need to depend on them as less as possible. That way we can improve our grasping power, our understanding of Shastra. Sorry, nothing in relation to you, but since you are
New insight.
not new inside, this is the ever existing inside only.
Yeah, that was.
So
Not Rohit, can you tell that?
what
Kriya
else?
Shakti, senses, intelligence, and prana.
Hmm.
And for Dravya Shakti,
No, you will get all the details later on. Slowly, we are getting one by one. These three energies will have the potency. How they are manifested will be revealed in the future verses. We are still at 24, 35 तक जाने का है तो अब तब तक आएगा. The Dravya Shakti has the capacity to produce the 5 gross elements, Pancha Mahabhutas, starting with ether. The Kriya Shakti has the capacity to produce the senses, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, along with intelligence and prana. The Jnana Shakti has the capacity to produce the sense devatas, along with the mind. Okay. Oh, Narada, you know all of this. So, my dear son, Narada, you know all of this, but still I am telling, because a matter of information, I am telling you. The state of equilibrium is called Pradhana. Pradhana means, Pradhana is nothing but Maya Shakti, also called a Dravya, consisting of 3 modes in equilibrium state, completely inactive state. Then Mahavishnu glancing upon Pradhana, impregnated Pradhana with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti.
Dravya and Dravya Shakti are different. Dravya and Dravya Shakti are different.
Yeah, here you should take them as different. Dravya is another name of Pradhana. Okay. Dravya Shakti is one of the many energies of Supreme Lord. Okay. Why both of them are getting same name means, among the 24 elements, the most obvious element for us at our level, at our conditioned human level, for us the most obvious element is the grossest of all matter is earth. So that is what we call Dravya. Dravya means matter, the gross matter, the earth element. So in that way, Dravya Shakti. Out of the 24 elements, the most prominent for us is earth element. That is produced from Dravya Shakti, the Pancha Mahabhutas. And at the beginning also it is called Dravya. That is the relation. So what comes out of the skin pores of Mahavishnu is called Pradhana. Okay. Which is called here in this chapter Dravya. By Mahavishnu, by glancing upon that Pradhana, impregnates her with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. So Jiva Shakti means Karma and Swabhava. Jiva always accompanies with Karma and Swabhava, as long as Jiva in the material world. So Kala, Karma, Swabhava entered into Pradhana, consisting of 3 modes which are in equilibrium state. So by the interaction of Kala, Karma, Swabhava with the 3 modes, the 3 modes are activated. Okay. By the agitation of time, the predominance of Sattva produces Mahatattva. When the mode of goodness becomes activated, from that Mahatattva came. Matlab, the other 2 modes are also activated, but goodness is 90% active, other 2 modes are less percentage of action. Then mode of passion becomes activated, Sruta Tattva, a type of Mahatattva is produced. When the mode of ignorance is activated, then Ahankara is produced. Then the effects of Ahankara with predominance of Tamas and with Rajas and with Sattva elements in much less amount produces the 5 gross element. So it said that the effect of Ahankara with the predominance of Tamas, the Ahankara in the mode of ignorance, but with small amounts of goodness and passion also, it produces the 5 gross elements. The Ahankara with the predominance of passion with the little quantity of goodness and rajas, the tamas produces certain senses. The hankara with the predominance of goodness, with minority of minor components of passion and ignorance, produces the mind and devatas. Like that, it will be mentioned. In this,
List is going to come there.
huh? Sorry?
That list will be again coming.
Yeah. These are all future, what is going to happen, it is indicated here.
How do we actually visualize Pradhana and the Mahatattva?
Pradhana is the seed. Mahatattva is the
It's a conscious
root. Mahatattva is the root which comes out of the seed. And Ahankara is the trunk. I will show, later on I will show that image. Then now just consider this names. The Ahankara gets transformed into Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Dravya Shakti by the influence of Sattva, Rajas and Tama gunas respectively. You turned off?
No, I think when you disconnect it from there, it automatically the sound went off.
We'll wait. So we'll read the next verse, verse number 25. Tasmadapi bhutader vikurvanada budnava tasya matra guna shabdo lingam yadrushtar drushtayo. So in the previous notes, in the previous verse notes, it is mentioned that from the tamasic ahankara there appears pancha mahabhutas. Okay? From tamasic ahankara there appears pancha mahabhutas. So which among the pancha mahabhutas appears first? That is mentioned now in this verse. From the darkness of false ego, the first of the 5 elements, namely ether, is generated. Its subtle form is the quality of sound. This arose before ether. Sound represents objects unseen or objects from the past and seen in the present and future as well. The first element which comes from the tamasic ahankara is
overheat
overheat के वजह से AC चालू नहीं किया ना. We are also sweating. It will obviously sweat. So when the mode of goodness activated, Mahatattva appeared. Mode of passion activated, Sutattva appeared. Mode of ignorance activated, and from tamasic ahankara first appeared Shabda, sound. From Shabda there appears ether.
So first sound and from there.
First sound comes. From sound there comes ether. The understanding is that the first element that appeared from tamasic ahankara is the sound. For the sound to go from one place to other place, there should be a road. Rasta chahiye na? That rasta is.
So these elements are the
ether.
Substance. जो अभी sound के लिए ether है. तो sound ये subtle है और gross है. So this is the path by which it travels.
Sound moves from one place to other place to the medium of ether.
It's a medium.
Yeah, it's the via medium, the transportation medium.
This is different from the modern understanding.
It's okay. Don't compare. Just read the Bhagavatam. And what are the qualities of the sound? Sound represents objects unseen or objects from the past and seen in the present as well. It is from the sound element we understand what is what. Only by sound only, na? If it is not from sound, how a child will understand who is mother, who is father? By hearing only, na? Mother will tell, he is your father, his name is so and so. Mother, father will tell she is your mother, her name is so and so. And mother will tell he is your brother, she is your sister, her name is this, her name is that. Only by words only, na? If Shabda is not there, we'll never understand anything about anything. And that Shabda also reveals us who were there in the past. From Mahabharata, we read about the 5 Pandavas. There were 5 Pandavas. Among them, Bhima was very strong and stout. Nakula was beautiful. Sahadeva was intelligent. And Arjuna was skilled person. And Dharmaraja was the very dharmic and sattvic person. Like that. Just by hearing, we understand who they were, how they were looking, what kind of their abilities they are, etc. etc. Everything by hearing only. We never saw them. But still we can understand about them by just by hearing. And by hearing only, we understand what in the present. What is what. If you are directly shown this equipment to you for the first time, you don't know about it. By seeing it, what kind of knowledge you will understand, gain it. You don't know. Either you should be told about it or you should be given a manual about it. Then by reading it or by hearing from someone, you will understand. So we'll understand about something in this world only by Shabda. Not hearing, by Shabda. Shabda either in the form of book or Shabda in the form of word. This is the quality of sound.
What is the difference between this subtle form, which is mentioned as the quality of sound, and the ether? Why do we actually represent the subtle form and the gross form? Ether is a gross form?
Ether is an element. Ether is an element.
So,
okay.
why do we actually consider one as subtle and the other as gross?
Okay, now tell me. The water as the quality of taste. Is water subtle or gross?
Water is gross.
Taste?
Taste is subtle.
Same way. Water has the quality of taste. Similarly, ether has the quality of sound. Because ether is subtle and we don't experience. So its quality sound also difficult to analyze. So what we experience is very close to us is earth as the element of fragrance. Earth is grass. Fragrance is subtle. Water is grass. Taste is subtle. And similarly, fire is grass. Form is subtle. Fire itself is not so grass. It is also like transforming into subtle. Then air, it is more subtle. And air ka quality touch, it is touch subtle. And ether is more subtle. And its quality is sound. It is much more subtle. It's like that. Here the element itself is subtle. The ether is the element which itself is subtle. Then what to speak of its quality? That will be more subtle. So like that.
What is the first sound which is created when universe got created?
Nada.
Nada. What does it mean?
Nadaswaram. Kabhi suna nahi?
No.
Oh, what is that? Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adi Kavaye. Did we discuss?
No.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, that Om के बारे में कुछ okay हमारे ब्रह्म भक्तियों के क्लास में डिस्कस किया. The first sound which comes from the Supreme Lord is called Nada. When that man transformed into material world, it became transformed as Om. Okay. Om is the first letter which manifests in the material world. From the Om, there appeared consonant, consonants, vowels, saptaswaras, meters, grammar. The first words, Bhur Bhuva Swaha. 3 plus their combination, Bhur Bhuva Swaha. The 4 words manifested.
From Om.
From Om. Like that, one after the other, like that. All these are manifested. So like that, everything manifested from Om. And Om itself manifested from Nada. Nada is the original manifestation of the sound. Nada is the sound in the spiritual world. Om is the sound in the original sound in the material world. Nada is like the seed in the godown. Om is like the sprout in the field. When you keep the seed in the godown, it will be like remain like a seed only. It will never transform. When you put the seed in the land, it will transform into sprout. From that sprout comes tree. From that tree comes branches. From the branches comes sub branches. From them twigs. From them Leaves. From them, flowers. From them, fruits. What are the flowers and fruits? Nice prose, poetry, music. What we enjoy today, they're like fruits and flowers, but behind there so many things are there. The root is Om. The trunk are the alphabets. From Om comes alphabets. And by the combination of alphabets, there comes poetry, prose, this, that, everything. This is there in the 11th canto. All these details are explained in the 11th canto.
That is why Mahaprabhu actually tells that Om is the Mahavakya.
Don't go there, here and there. Mahavakya, Laguvakya. This describes the details of Ahankara in Tamas. It is well known that first sound arises from this mode. This is subtle form of the ether. That is its distinguishing quality. By sound, ether is produced. All the 5 elements have their specific qualities. They are called as Tan Matra. Tan Matra are sense object in English. Prabhupada called them as sense objects, but we call them a Tan Matra here. The quality of sound is described. The sound represents things unseen in the past, like the 5 Pandavas, the 4 brothers of Rama. By reading Rama and Mahabharata, we understand by sound only. The sound represents things unseen in the past and things in the present or in the future.